kids. Stupendous. Oh boy, do I gotta go.
Hey guys, it's Fairy Tuesday, and today I'm going to be talking about, as you can tell by the title of this video, mythical creatures that I know a little bit about, and of course we're going to jump right into it with fairies, obviously. If you watch this channel, then you know what it's all about, and that is fairies. And honestly, I don't need to get into detail because you guys can just watch my other videos. But yeah, fairies are 100% real, and I know a lot about fairies. So if you ever have any questions, feel free to ask them, and I try to answer as many as I can, but a lot of them are the same questions. So if you have a question, most likely it's been answered somewhere. The next one, of course, that I've talked about on my channel is pixies. And if you don't know, fairies are good and they do things to help the environment and other people, and they're just good-spirited. Pixies cause mischief, and they're kind of, I wouldn't say evil, but like, you know, something similar to that. They just are mischievous creatures, and they're very tiny, and they are tricksters, and they can mimic other beings and trick you and more shape-shift sort of type thing, and yeah, it's crazy, but they're 100% different from fairies, in case you didn't know. But yes, pixies are considered bad and fairies are considered good. The next mythical creature is, of course, mermaids. They do exist. There are many different types of mermaids. There are many different ways to become one or be one. They do different things. Mostly they just have some fun underwater. They keep everything in order, and yeah, they're just super beautiful creatures, very self-loving, very loving, spirited, and they do have some pretty cool powers if you get to learn them, and they definitely are real. The next one is elves, and I'm not talking elves like Santa's little helpers. I'm talking actual magical elves. They are very good hunters. Of course, for tiny things, they are small. They do have pointy ears. They dress sort of like how pixies would dress, with like leafy clothing or such like that. However, they don't all dress that way. But they are very excellent in magic and in hunting. So maybe you didn't know that about elves, but they are amazing, excellent hunters, and they just are very good at surviving with very limited supplies. So that's something really cool about them, and I really respect them, and they also help out fairies often. Of course, there are good elves and bad elves, but a good majority of them are good. Just like I'm sure there are some people who do use fairy magic for things that aren't very good, but we just don't like to express that and have that in our community. But of course, my specialty is fairies, so I can't give you 100% a bunch of facts about these other creatures, so that's why I keep relating it to fairies, because that's what I know best. And again, these creatures you may not even become. They might just be, as if like there was a cat. Like maybe you can't become a cat, but there are cats. This next one is what you might know as a goblin. Not good. They're usually troublesome. They're usually gross looking, ugly, like to cause ruckus, and they're very greedy creatures. They will try to trick you. They're very weird looking. I'll try to insert a picture of what they look like. After this, I will insert a picture of each one of these thingies, mythical creatures. Some people don't believe in ghosts, but I did want to include that in the video because there are a lot of people who do. It's kind of one of those things that ties into religion, so I don't want to talk too much about it because that might be a sensitive topic for some people. But yeah, they're just spirits of the dead. They coexist with the living. You usually can't see or hear them. Sometimes you can feel their presence, or maybe they will give you a sign that they're there, but I truly do believe in them, and I have done some research on them, and it is pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not going to get too much into it. Next is gnomes. They basically live underground and work with underground mines and treasures and such like that. And they're super funny creatures, so if you ever encounter a gnome, they're super funny. They look sort of like if you bought a garden gnome, that is what they are like. Very small, very dopey looking, and so funny and nice. So they're probably the nicest creature to exist, I would think, in my opinion. But yeah, they're super cool. There's a big thing about vampires and werewolves. Now, I don't really know much about it. I'm just going to include it in this video because I think it's a really cool concept, and I really am not familiar if they are real or not, but I have encountered some creatures who appeared a little less on the human side and more on the vampire side. I never physically saw them, you know, feed on the blood of animals or on people or anything like that. However, they just had some weird qualities to them, and they did not seem human. And definitely not getting into like Twilight because it's clearly fictional, and I don't think that it's actually like that at all, just in my opinion. But I really, like I said, don't know much about it. And werewolves also, I do believe they could very much exist. I really don't know anything about them, but I really do believe them. I just believe that, again, it's not like how they're portrayed in movies and books and stuff. So yeah, that is, so everyone loves vampires and werewolves. You know, there's TV shows, movies, everything about vampires and werewolves. And I think that I am going to research it a bit more because I think it's super interesting. But yeah, I don't think that they're evil. I don't think vampires are necessarily evil. They need blood to survive, so I understand why they do it. And I believe that they maybe just feast on the blood of animals and not on people, because that's a little cannibalistic, but that's another mythical creature that doesn't need to be talked about. There are like witches, wizards, and stuff like that, but I don't necessarily consider them mythical because it's not about being a different being. It's just what you practice. So if you practice witchcraft or wizardry, then you are a witch or a wizard or a warlock or whatever you want to be. You could just become it and practice potions, magic, spells, stuff like that. So I'm not going to talk about those in this video, but I did want to let you know why. And then for the grand finale, this is super cool, guys. I don't think I've ever talked about it on this channel, but shapeshifters are actually real, and they can be human for their entire life if they want to. They don't have to ever shapeshift. They can completely control it 100%. They do it all by will and all by might. And normally they find that they can shapeshift. This is something that you're born with. Technically, sorry. This is something that you're born with, and shapeshift into like different animals, any kind that they want. It takes a lot of mind and body power, but they are real. And the cool thing is that some of them can actually become more than one animal at once. Now, keep in mind, when they are shapeshifting into a certain animal, say they want to shapeshift into a dog, they still have complete consciousness of a human in a dog's form. So it's really cool. They can, you know, go spy on people. I don't know. I wouldn't say they're bad. I would just say that they're very cool, and they do what they gotta do to use their powers. But yeah, it's a super cool concept, and it's actually, I've met people, I mean, I haven't met too many, but I've also spoken to people that have this ability, and it's kind of rare. You probably won't come across a lot. I just did a lot of research to find people that I could speak to, and it's actually very interesting. So if you want to look into that yourself, then it's super awesome. And yeah, I mean, shapeshifting is something that other beings can do, but these shapeshifters have super powerful control and are just super awesome. I tried to make this video as interesting as possible without being boring. I know that this was really requested. I did as much research as I could. It's just hard to find what's hard fact and what's fiction. So for that reason, I couldn't say too much about the things that I was unsure of. If you have any questions, leave them down below. But yes, a lot of people really wanted me to make this type of video so they know what's real and what's not. So these are just the ones that I know of are real, or that I believe are real. If you don't believe in them, that's okay. I don't expect you to. And if you do, or if you believe in anything else that I didn't mention, then comment below. But yeah, I just thought that even though I can't really give you a good description on them, I can still at least give you, you know, fact or fiction, if it's real or not. So I hope that that's what you got out of this video rather than coming to look for facts about them, because of course I can't know everything about every single mythical creature that does exist. I really do know a lot about fairies, and I try to use that in my videos. So I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time. Thank you for watching, and bye!